What's good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman for this Sunday morning, September 19th, 2021, and we are back with another call-in show. This call-in show has been very successful thanks to you all out there, and I appreciate the love and support that you have given since I've launched this endeavor, and it makes me feel very good and warm inside that people would like to get up on a Sunday morning and listen to Stormybman and what he has to say about the sport of boxing. But it also speaks about you guys that want to get up and talk boxing as well. So, man, give yourselves a pat on the back and a round of applause for that as well, because I love boxing just like you guys do. Man, what a glorious Sunday morning to be here. This is already show number 10. Can you believe it? There are 4 weeks typically in a month, and the fact that we've made it to the 10th show, man, we are on the move. And as I keep saying, time is going just a little too fast for Stormy. I want it to slow down just a tad, so I can smell some of those flowers that are being given out, you know. But thanks for coming by this morning. Please smash that like button if you haven't had a chance to do so already. And we'll greet one another here this morning as we have been known to do. I want to first say shout out to Mike 202, who was out there early in the chat. He was like, man, Stormy, that new trailer is lit. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, bro. You know, I keep trying to do things to keep you guys interested and engaged and making new trailers for the shows, and, you know, to also put in for you guys to have something to view when you come into the chat box early before the launch of a live stream. So I'm trying to do that because that's done with you guys in mind, and I appreciate the acknowledgement on that. So thank you again. We got Chi-Town's finest out there saying blessings and love, Sensei. I'm at work, so I can't. Jose Diaz is out there saying salute. Ravens Nation as well. Jay Gibson is out there saying salute to Stormybman and the family. Yes, sir. Jose Diaz is saluting Jay back. And Big Homie Coop is back. He says, salute Seafood. Backsmack the like button, people. And class is in session, so pay attention. That's right. You remind them, Big Homie Coop. That's the man right there. And he says, time flies. Yes, it does. Big Texas, ATX Cletus is out there saying, salute Stormybman. Salute to you. He said, let's get it. Right on. And my man Tyrone is out there. TS Boxing, what's good with you, Tyrone? Good to see you this morning, man. Appreciate you stopping by to listen in for the call-in show. Yeah, man, this is a week that we can call Fight Week. We got a big fight on the horizon, and coming up fast next weekend, you know, but we'll talk about that amongst other things. But just getting here, you know what I mean? Getting here to get through the show this morning, I tell you, man, for those of you who had a chance to check out my man Tay Jones's spectacular knockout, you know, I'm still talking about it because it was such a spectacular knockout. The brother looked like a highlight reel. And from what I understand, even ESPN picked it up and had him out there. You know what I mean? So he went viral, as they say. You know what I mean? And when stuff go viral, man, that means that millions have checked you out. You know what I mean? So if you all ever want to go viral, just a little reminder of something very important. Go viral about something you'll be proud of, okay? Don't go viral for something where it was jacked up and now you out there forever and you become a meme or something like that. You don't want that to happen. No sirree. But, yeah, salute to Tay. We were on last night on the Brother Divine Sense Boxing's channel, And, I came into the show a little late. They were already cooking. And I got a chance to chop it up with the brothers on there. And there was a few distractions that tried to bump things off and take things left. But we kind of righted the ship and got through that. So, it's important to remain focused when you're out here in the community and you're doing good things like that. It's like, hey, you got to, But listen, we all support one another and we uplift one another, and that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. So, again, welcome you guys. Good to see you all out there, man. Good to see you. Jared is out there. He says, what up, family? What up with you? And Sylvestrial's back. He says, Stormy, salute. Salute to you as well. In a very good mood this morning, man. In a very good mood. I think it's because I had a chance to relax myself a little bit. The wife and I, we went apple picking yesterday. And I got a nice apple cobbler, man. That's, yeah, So it's going down, right? And when I say going down the pipe, into the belly. They give me some of those good old fresh apples made in that apple cobbler, man. But yeah, you guys should take time out and enjoy and relax yourself. Don't stress yourself too much. The world is dealing with so much right now. You know what I mean? So it's nice to have outlets. Boxing happens to be one for me. But I love my movies as well. So, if it's not happening on the end with boxing, it'll be happening with some movies as far as I'm concerned, because I can, slip off into that area right there. And, I'm a film buff in general. But, of course, I've said I love Kung Fu films, and you guys have heard me talk about them and do reviews here on the channel. But it's always nice to have an outlet, whether you're reading, you're into music, you write, something of the arts. Find something that you can put your energies into. It helps you maintain an equilibrium through all the stresses and travails that we find ourselves dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Just a little suggestion there for you all. I know a lot of people ain't going to listen, but you're out there, so I might as well give you the information anyway, huh? Because a hit dog will yell, huh? That's what they used to say. So I hope we got some hit dogs out there this morning, so you guys will be yelping, yeah, I'm talking about you, huh? Yeah, so, but yeah, glad to be here this morning with you guys, man. See people rolling in. We got Brown on Boxing out there. He says, salute, Stormy. Salute to you. Yes, sir. Man. As I was saying about, the fights coming up, this is fight week, man. And this week in boxing, we've got another big fight on the horizon. And that's that fight that's going to take place between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk for the unified heavyweight championship of the world. Joshua, I believe, possesses the WBO, IBO, WBA, and IBF titles. That's 4 belts. And Alexander Usyk is the former undisputed cruiserweight champion, having moved up to the heavyweight division. And listen, man, being undisputed at cruiserweight, he's already had 2 heavyweight fights under his belt. He fought Witherspoon, and then he fought Chisora in his 2 fights at heavyweight. 2 different types of fighters, 2 different styles. And to me, I mean, people judged him on those bouts. But I'll say this. You have to get your feet wet in the heavyweight division someplace, right? And they didn't want to risk one of the more dangerous big punchers in there with him. But Chisora did provide him with something, because Chisora, with what I like to call the caveman style, came out trying to bludgeon him right away. But Usyk's experience allowed him to be carried through that. And once you fought a couple of times at the division, you're pretty much, you're adjusted. I mean, you're going to be the size you're going to be because that's all genetics and what, the creator gave you. But one thing that can't be taken away from Usyk is his experience and his technical capabilities. The fact that he also is a southpaw, okay, that presents problems, man. That presents problems. And the heavyweights are guys that typically aren't as polished tool-wise. And don't forget this last little bit. Being the cruiserweight champion, he was probably walking around as a heavyweight anyway. So heavyweights don't have to make weight. And Usyk is probably happy for that. He just has to make sure that he's in condition to go 12 or more with the top, one of the division's top fighters in Anthony Joshua. So, hey, both guys were gold medalists in the Olympics. I think Joshua was the super heavyweight gold medalist, and Usyk was. And hey, man, it's time to go. You know what I mean? It's time to go. So I know you guys are looking forward to it as well. Joshua has been out there, man. He talks crap. You know what I mean? And I would rather not listen to him talk. I'd rather Joshua just kind of, go out there and fight and go be silent after the matches. Go back into hiding or whatever. He's not a good interview or soundbite at all because he just doesn't have that. I'm sorry. Everything he says to me, it comes off as rehearsed and forced. And when you're at the top of the sport like that, you don't want to force yourself on people. Just be as genuine as you can. The more people see that you're a fallible individual, the more they can respect that. But when you act arrogant and you try to pretend like you know better than others and all of that, man, people can really build up a case to find reasons to want to see you stumble, And that's what these guys got to learn how to do. Just go in there and fight, man. Be a professional and fight the guys that people want to see you fight. That's all. At the end of the day, whether you win, lose, or draw, you're going to have your detractors, but you will have supporters who will even respect you more because you went in there and you fought your contemporaries. So just a, little message there. Hopefully the brother can hear that and consider it. But he's got a tough vaunting task in front of him. In Alexander Usyk, man, it's there right now. You know what I mean? And who knows how that's going to play out? Because Usyk is a technically proficient fighter. He's not afraid of anyone. His amateur background is outstanding, and he's there to compete. We're not handing anything to anyone. We want to see these two guys go at it and see what comes of it. But I'll tell you, if Usyk was to turn out victorious in this bout, man, you're looking at, oh boy, does that upset the apple cart for the heavyweight division, I mean, big time. So, but as I said last week, I was going to make sure that I go ahead and open up the calls for you guys earlier. I usually take the first 20 minutes or so to kind of talk and warm you up a little bit and greet everybody. But we're going to open up those lines because people may want to have some things to talk about this week, and we'll do that. This is the call-in show, as by the way, and, make sure that you keep the calls respectful. And, hey, let's talk good boxing, man. That's what we're here for. Stormybman, try to make it where, there's a exchange between us having this show. It's like we can share our thoughts and views. It doesn't matter just what I say or what I think. I welcome people to come in and give their take on things. As Kurt Sugar has said, we learn from you guys as well. The chat, the people who support the shows. So, that's what it's all about. Let's see who we got here. There have been some more people coming to the building. Thrill Hill is out there. And he says, salute Stormy B in chat. Salute to you. General Squirrels. He says, salute to the sensei and the chat. Salute to you as well. Don't forget to smash that like button, people, as you come in. And the troll killer, Mr. Shelton, is out there. What's good with you, Mr. Shelton? Good to see you, bro. And we got our first caller of the day. Who we got here? Okay, good morning. We got 254 in the building. Welcome to the call-in show. Good morning. How you doing? What's on your mind? And who am I speaking with?
What's up, brother Stormy? You speaking with Jared 011 Green in the chat. How you doing, brother?
Oh, man. What's going on with you, Jared? How you doing?
I'm blessed. I can't complain, Sensei. I'm a long-time LDBC member.
Okay.
Love what y'all doing.
Hey, man.
Especially
welcome.
you. I call you the quiet storm, the LDBC. You know.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's cool. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And just to get to the point, as far as the fight with Usyk and Joshua,
yeah,
of course, everybody picking, Usyk to win. Well, not everybody, but me personally, I think Joshua will win. Of course, not being a Joshua fan, but in reality, if he stays big, if he doesn't lose weight, if he stays at like at least 230, 240, and sit on his punches, so he can have that weight to sit on his punches, he'll get Usyk out of there because he'll have that real heavyweight power. But I did read an article that you can correct me if I'm wrong, Sensei, that he's trying to lose weight, and I think that's a mistake. You trying to lose weight and be light, and that's, to me, you walking in Usyk's game. To me.
Okay. All right. Is that it? You want me to respond to what you're suggesting there, or you had something else adding on?
Go ahead, old school.
Yes, sir. Well, a couple things about that. In the heavyweight division, people are who they are. You know what I mean? Some guys are blessed and fortunate to have a more solid constitution where weight properly distributed over their bodies, is something that's genetics. Some guys are a little light in the pants, so to speak, and then some guys are just heavy-handed. You know what I mean? In this instance with Joshua, if you go back to when they were both in the Olympics, both Usyk and Joshua was kind of thin. He was real thin, but he was a heavyweight due to his size and his bone density. Now, what happened is when he turned pro, they built him up a lot like Evander Holyfield, but more so than Evander, because Evander had to build his way up to a weight to maintain at that division. But seeing that Joshua was already at the division, what he put on gave him, I would say it gave him a little more assuredness because that mass, but that was muscle mass and everything. So when you see them and hear them now talking about him trying to trim down, he's trying to cut the muscle weight down. It's not he's trying to slim down and be 210 or something like that. But you have to understand that a couple of his fights, he was like 260 pounds. You know what I mean? And that's pretty damn big when you're not that big. You could tell that was a bodybuilder's weight for him. Right. And if he gets back down, to be perfectly honest, guys like AJ, that size, reach, and everything, their best weights are from the 230s to the 240s. Really, that's it.
I agree.
That's what Lennox was. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see
Yes,
Lennox
sir.
coming in at 260 pounds and stuff like that. You have to
Not at all.
maintain your agility and your speed and your endurance. And with that extra muscle mass, Joshua was always gassing out when he went beyond 7 rounds. You know what I mean? So that was that was a problem. So I see what they're doing, and it makes all the sense in the world. He didn't need all of that mass. He didn't. But now maybe because if he drops it, he can be a little more athletic. We haven't seen it yet, but that doesn't mean it can't take place. See, I'm not an AJ basher, but I speak realistically about all fighters. You know what I'm saying? So I could see what they're doing, and that makes all the sense in the world. Yes, but will he improve on his skill set? That's what people should be concerned about, because if we're talking about on paper between these two men, who has the greater skill set, it's hands down Alexander Usyk. Hands down.
Yes.
You see? Now, what could AJ do to offset that? Use his size, reach, and power. Okay?
And power, exactly.
Yes.
Now, the only thing I was alarmed about, because you remember that Joseph Parker fight? I think that was one of the lightest. I could be wrong. He was very light during that fight. And I just felt like he could have been got Joseph Parker out of there because he cut a lot of weight and muscle mass. It was pretty much a glorified sparring match.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just, in my point of view, if he does the same thing to this Usyk fight, he'll be in trouble.
Well, let's take it back to the Parker fight for a minute. Now, you made a point that you thought that he could have got him out of there. Personally, there was no way he was going to get Parker out of there, and there's 2 reasons for that. One,
I want to hear this.
Yeah, between he and Parker, Parker's fight is mid-range and in close against AJ. Okay, that was his fight. But the referee would not allow Parker to fight that type of fight.
Yeah.
Every time they got close to each other, the referee jumped in there and broke them up and made them reset and start all over. So AJ had the advantages from the outside, and AJ is not an inside fighter. So everything was predicated on AJ's advantages, and that's how that Parker fight turned out. He was not going to knock Parker out because he didn't want to engage with Parker. You have to put yourself in a position, right? But he didn't have to work like that because the referee was assisting him with what Parker does well. So again, that could be the case going into this fight. Usyk's people may need to be on those officials and referees like, hey, my man might want to work on the inside. We don't want you stopping it and everything unless it's an actual clinch. Because, see, you could talk about that in the locker room when a referee comes to your dressing room and you can address what your concerns may be. Usyk's people have got to stress that. We want to be able to work on the inside. We don't want you stopping just because the guys got close to each other, okay? And if AJ is reaching out, grabbing Usyk, we don't care about that because we're going to work out of those clinches, but we want the opportunity to do so. So you have to put that on the table. You have to say that because the officials will have to respect that. But mind you, they're going to be giving AJ as many advantages as they can. And you understand why. So it's like, be prepared on your end to deal with those things. But that's what I had to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, you basically, and I did remember the referee breaking it up, or even the announcer was shouting, like getting frustrated, like, what the hell are you doing? What the referee is doing? Yeah, I was very enlightened. But of course I'm picking Joshua to win, not because I'm a Joshua fan. He's a boxer. I think
there's nothing wrong with that. Listen. Let me tell you, I'm not here to discourage anyone from being a supporter of a particular fighter. I love the sport. I don't love the individuals. I love the sport, and so that's why I can speak as I do, you know, because I don't have a dog in the race. But it's also from a coaching perspective. It's like I'm giving it to you honestly. I just spoke about AJ's strengths, and I spoke about what him losing weight would mean for him to be a better fighter. But he does have to improve on his skill set. I have not seen improvement on his skill set since he's become a champion or a titleist at the division. There are usually fights that define your progression. He hasn't had any. His fights, like take the Pulev fight, which was his last fight, right? The Pulev fight showed me that he didn't know how to get a guy like Pulev out of there who didn't have anything to threaten him with. He happened upon the knockout where he got, but Pulev was ready to go a couple of rounds before that. He was. And you have to be able to recognize that. Your coaches in your corner has to be able to recognize that. This guy don't want to fight. He's just kind of going rounds with you. Go in there and put the heat on him and take his butt out of there. But I understood the gun shyness because of what happened in New York, okay, against Andy Ruiz. Now, remember, he fought the rematch with Ruiz moving away from him the entire fight. You know what I'm saying? So that was a new wrinkle. But that's not something that he's really proficient at. So in the Pulev fight, he's kind of like in between styles. I got to see what's going to work. But they should not have waited till they got in the ring. They should have been, they should have had something set up for him before in the ring. But it turned out when he finally laid some leather on Pulev, what did Pulev do? He laid down. So you know what I'm saying? So I understand, man. And there's nothing wrong with supporting AJ. He could be a better fighter than what he is. I just want to see it transpire. You know what I mean? And one of the things would be to fight quality opposition. This guy right here that he's getting ready to fight, hands down, outside of the faded Klitschko, this is probably going to be the best fighter he's ever fought at the heavyweight division as a professional. Yeah, because
Usyk can and check me because I would say in the past years Usyk is one of the best cruiserweights we've seen in years. I'm just looking at his record, right off the bat. I know he doesn't have a lot of fights, but if you look at his record, all the people he beat in the cruiserweight division were contenders.
Yeah.
In big dog in the cruiserweight division. Yeah. Now, I know that cruiserweight, this is a different animal, but the boy know what he's doing. Usyk got skills.
I'm sorry.
Questions that will be, I'm sorry, Cesar. Questions will be answered on this Saturday. If he can play with the big boys in the heavyweight division.
Listen, I would just like the officials to be fair. That's what I want more than anything. And that's some of my post-fight shows that I do with Reggie. You know, I talk about this a lot, the judging. If Usyk is winning rounds, give him the rounds that he's winning. If he's trying to work on the inside, allow him to do so. Unless he's doing fouling or something like that, then the ref needs to do his job. But I don't want the ref, just because Usyk got close to AJ, to come in there pulling him away and stuff like that. No, man. This is boxing. You know, used to hear the old referee Richard Steele, when guys got close on the inside, he would tell them, punch your way out, punch your way out. You could hear him over the mic yelling that, punch your way out. In other words, he's giving them the opportunity to fight their way out of the circumstances. That's what you want. You don't want a guy just running in there because the guys got close and they bodies are up against each other and here comes the ref separating them. You know, man, go sit your butt down somewhere. Because I've seen those same refs who do that kind of foolishness go in there, and when somebody's taking punishment, they don't step in and stop it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So these are clear-cut, thought out decisions that a referee makes. That's why I'm speaking about it, because I've planted that seed for you. So when you watch the fight, you'll be able to assess. Well, see, that's what Stormy was talking about. Or I'm glad Stormy mentioned it because now we see that the referee is letting them fight or whatever. Just be mindful of that.
So you're saying because of their style, the referee will play a big factor?
No, not because of their styles. AJ has problems with shorter guys.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have problems with the guys that are like his height and stuff. He doesn't. Because he can, from here to there, he can get them. But the little guys got to get close to him. And he doesn't fight well on the inside. You just heard me say that. And Usyk is a shorter guy by 3 inches or so, but he's a more experienced, technically proficient fighter. So on the end, he can probably do some things to AJ. You understand? Because AJ is not an inside fighter. That's why this kind of balances out a little bit. And remember, I said AJ hasn't really gotten better technically wise, but the fact that he's losing the muscle mass will help him be more agile, athletic, and probably a little quicker, losing the muscle mass. And he's had a chance to do it over a period of time. It's not like he just dropped a lot of weight, but he's cutting the weight, getting down to what he may have naturally been had he not put on the muscle mass. See, he could have. I don't know what he weighed coming out of the Olympics. I don't know that, but I do know he was the super heavyweight. But my thought process is by this time, these many years into his professional career, AJ should at least be about 230, 235 with body maturation. You understand? So it's like that's what I think. But remember, he was much bigger than that with muscle mass. So it all is gonna come out, one way or the other. But I just want to see them be allowed to fight. Because both guys have weaknesses. Usyk's weakness is that he hasn't been in there with these big guys at this level or whatever. But when you can fight, bro. You ever seen a little guy on the street whoop a big guy's butt? Sometimes, when you're a little dude, you can fight. That's all that matters. You got some freaking welterweights and middleweights that'll whoop a heavyweight's butt in the street. You understand? Because if they know how to handle themselves. One thing that these heavyweights rely upon is they power. We saw that with Deontay Wilder where he was relying on his power. You're right. He came to that point. He wasn't always doing that, but he got to that point. You want to be able to do something more than just be able to hit hard. You want to be able to protect yourself, slip shots, get out of the way, counter, think, set traps. You see what I'm saying? That's a catalog of things, and I haven't even mentioned them all. So it's like that's what it comes down to when you're talking about the sport of boxing.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So is that it? Or you got anything else? Or
no? One thing, me and my brother been talking about it. This is a hypothetical boxing matchup. So let's say Deontay Wilder beats Tyson and Usyk beats Joshua, right? Yeah. Usyk versus Deontay. As far as with your boxing knowledge and how you just enlighten me on the shorter guy, Joshua.
Okay, I got you. Check this out. Before losing to Tyson Fury in the second fight, if Deontay Wilder went into a fight against Alexander Usyk, that would probably be one of his toughest fights of his career. You know why? Because of the same reasons that I stated about Usyk earlier, even though I was stating them about him fighting Joshua. He's a technically proficient guy with a solid amateur background, and he's a southpaw. Okay? And if he can get inside on Deontay, he could cause problems for him because he is proficient in that. Now, since the loss to Tyson Fury, Deontay has enlisted the assistance of Malik Scott and Don House, who are bringing him along very well to help remind him of what he can do better and what he does well, and even added some newer wrinkles to his game. So this Deontay Wilder that we're going to see going forward, regardless of who he fight next, we know it's supposed to be Fury on the horizon, but it doesn't matter if it's Fury or the next man up. He's going to be dangerous as hell because nobody knows who's coming to the ring. And even after you get film on this guy, after he comes to the ring, the guy I guarantee you that you see on October 9th or beyond is not the guy that you saw on February 22nd, 2019. It's not the same man. So,
I agree.
Listen, Usyk against this Wilder now gets knocked out because the man has been reminded. The man has been reminded of his boxing ability. He has rekindled his love for what he's doing. He has been able to add to everything that you had seen up to now, and he's been given time to grow and do so. Think about it. The man has had like 5 or 6 camps. Okay? So this ain't just, he's just coming back off of a long layoff. No, he's been working, and he's been enjoying his work. He's been having fun. And when you have fun doing what you're doing, you can do it all day long.
Facts.
Huh?
Facts. And,
Yes,
and that's, I know you probably got a lot of calls. I just want to, been a long time, man, been grinding out here. Just wanted to call into your show, Sensei, man. Appreciate
Hey, man, I appreciate it. And don't be a stranger. Call back, man. I like your conversation. So please call back and continue to support and listen to the show, man, and the rest of my content on here. It's for you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And I'll be back in the chat, man.
All right.
You.
Peace, brother. Thanks again for your call.
No problem.
All right. That was a great opening call there, man. Appreciate that. That was good stuff. So I'm sure you guys out there in the chat would agree. That was a great opening call, great conversation. See, that's what it's all about, man. We get on here and we start talking this boxing. Hey, it's something else, ain't it? I want to get back to acknowledging who had joined us in our chat out there. We had, I know I left off with our brother, Mr. Troll Killer, Mr. Shelton. 88 Sports Talk is out there. Who else we got? Slide Encounter has fallen into the building. He says, I got Joshua winning, but I'll be competitive. But it'll be competitive, yeah. Slide Encounter is saying, yeah, okay. And Sweet Science is out there saying, AJ struggled with Takam. He won't beat Usyk, trust me. Okay, we'll see. Andrew Charles is out there. He says, salute Stormybman, salute to you. Jose Diaz says, the calm before the storm. I fish for a living. You got to be careful with that. Props to your channel. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Simon Bridgman, channel member, says, salute Stormy B-Man and the chat. Salute to you, Simon. Good to see you out there. And thank you for becoming a member to the channel, bro. Thank you so much. Smash that like button, people. I know you guys are out there. Smash the like button for me. Let's see. I think I'm all caught up there with the people who have joined in. The rest of you guys were just speaking about thinking what I had to say while we were having our conversation with the call. Yeah. Go James. Khalil is out there, says, salute family, salute to you. So, yeah, man. And hey, listen, go ahead and call in. That's what the show is all about. You know, Stormy try to encourage you guys. Call in, speak your piece, state your, thoughts about whatever. We don't just have to talk about Joshua and Usyk. It's just that it's fight week, and I put them up on the board because that's the next one up, huh? the next one up. But we can talk about, whatever you guys want to talk about. Just a reminder, keep the calls clean. You know what I mean? We're not here to insult nobody or burn people's feelings up, We're living in a time of utter sensitivity. So we got to be respectful. Now, Fury Wilder 3 is coming up, fast approaching. If somebody want to call in and talk about that, let's do so. You know what I mean? This is what it's all about, man. You guys sitting out there looking at the screen, looking at the number up there. You probably done dialed 6 of the digits and scared to dial the last digit. Come on, man. Just call on in. Talk to Stormybman. Call on in. I opened them phone lines up early because I don't like when you guys be trying to flood me with calls at the end of the show. Oh, I couldn't get through. The lines are open. What's your excuse right now? You see, I moved the goalpost back, and can't nobody kick the field goal now. You guys are something else, man. You guys are something else. Let me see here. Another fight we got on the horizon, man, fast approaching, is this Caleb Plant Canelo Alvarez fight, man. Now this fight right here, listen, I want to see this fight. I really do, because there's been some stuff talking and brewing behind the scenes, man. And Canelo, feeling himself, thinking like he's God's gift to boxing. And Caleb Plant, who's in utter disagreement, which that's the way it's supposed to be, right? Now you just got to go out there and show and prove, who's who. That's what that's all about. Going into this fight, Canelo needs one more title to become undisputed, and it happens to be the one that's in the possession of Mr. Plant, the IBF belt. And Plant, Mr. Sweet Hands, he ain't willing to give that up very quickly, so easily. So we know that he's gonna bring a more spirited approach to the fight than Mr. Saunders did, but what will really happen, we just don't know. The one thing I will reiterate, if Mr. Plant doesn't know this, is this. Canelo, for all of his strengths and everything, got bad wheels, huh? Yeah, the tires are a little bit eroded and, worn out. So take him out there on the slippery slopes. That's what I got to say about that. Huh? Make him find you. And while he's on his search for you, make sure you set him up with a few stoplights, like that jab right in his mug. Make him reset. Huh? Give him an angle. Is he over here? No, he's over there. Is he over there? No. Oh, he went back there. Oh, he's over here. He's right in your face. Give him different looks, man. Back and knees of his, get a workout while he's in there, huh? Because Canelo might only be 30 years old, but them knees is about 39 or 40, huh? Yeah, I said it. Mm-hmm. That's right. Come on, man. Nobody wants to call in and Stormy B, man. You guys are something else. What's going on? I know what it is. Y'all listening to 2 or 3 different shows, and you can't stop listening to your other show if you call in for Stormy. But that's a doggone shame. Cause you're out here and you're barely participating, but you're here. You just here. Huh? D-Lo 404 Boxing is out there. He says salute. Salute to you. Man. Man, this fight that was last week, man, this Oscar Valdez fight against Conceição, you know, listen, we now know why he was allowed to go through this fight after testing positive with both his A and B samples with a banned substance on the VADA list by the name of phetamine, okay? Listen, this kid was going to have a ceremony where his hometown made a statue for him, okay? And not only did he have a situation where out of the Reynoso camp, he pops dirty. Okay, we got a call. Let's see. I guess when I start talking about Valdez, that one of his fans called in. Okay, we got 254 in the building. Who's calling? And welcome to the show.
Hey, Sensei, this is Jared O'Levin Green again. Just called in again because everybody acting scared.
Yeah, man, the guys are scared, man. They standing up. You know, you ever went to a party, and this is back in the day. I'm sure you'll recognize this real quick. You ever go to a party and the music playing and everything, and all them dudes wallflowers holding up the walls, and the girls is out there dancing by themselves because they too scared to go ask the girl, hey, you want to dance with me? No, they all standing up on the wall trying to be macho, talking stuff to their boy and stuff. Man, go get you one of them Slim Goodies and get out there and grind. Huh?
Exactly.
These dudes standing out there, they out there listening to the show, looking at the screen, looking at me. Huh? It's a number up there. Call the number, man. That's all I'm saying.
You might have to get your Black Fight fan on.
Listen. The only thing.
Looking at me.
The only thing I'm saying is, it's futile being out there for a call-in show and you don't call in. That's just goofy to me. I've called in. You know, KQKC got his call-in show. I listen to him all the time, right? But sometimes I call in. You know, I just call in. But he get a lot of people to call. So it's like, you know, you wait your time or whatever. But it's like, why would you just listen to a call-in show but never call in? That's kind of goofy to me.
I ain't gonna lie, you said it right. People be having like more than one show, Sensei. I ain't gonna lie, I've been guilty of that. You know, I want to support everybody, and I be having your show up and somebody else in the LDBC. Yeah, so that's probably what it is. You nailed it on the head.
But see, I know these things already. But again, like I said, if you want to show support, it's nothing wrong with being present. It's nothing wrong with showing up, hitting that like button. Even if you're there for 5 minutes, do it, because that's real support. But like if it's a call in and say something. You ain't got to be on here for 20 minutes. You can say something. We have a quick conversation about what you call in for. Then you can go back and go watch whoever else you want to watch. The whole point of it is to support the platform of what it's all about. Remember, I take the time out to do this for you guys. And it's like, I enjoy doing these things. But if it's like nobody wants to accept that or be a part of that, then it may be a case of, okay, maybe this has run its gamut. Who knows? You know, but I'm wise enough to know that, hey, I can do more than one thing, bro.
Me too. I'm double tasking right now. But talk about boxing again.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, the Caleb Plant versus Canelo, that fight intrigues me.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing what scares me, and you can enlighten me again, school me again, Sensei. My only thing I got against Caleb, and I love Caleb Plant, hard-nosed white boy, had tragic things happen to him. Daughter died, grew up with the brothers, boxing with the brothers in the, black neighborhood. So, this is a rough and, white guy. So he ain't scared of nothing. So, but the only thing that I'm kind of side-eyeing, did you watch that Ugoski fight?
Yes.
The fight he won the belt from? The fight that he won the belt from?
Yeah.
I noticed in the late rounds, he gets, I wouldn't say get tired, he gets because
he loses focus.
He loses focus because he be piecing people up, and he gets caught with punches he shouldn't get caught with.
You know what that's from?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what that's from? That happens when guys are a little bit more seasoned in talent than the person that they in there with, and it's almost like you become lackadaisical. You lose the focus or whatever because there's no imminent threat. There's no imminent threat. It's just like when you were growing up, you may have had chores to do around the house. But when your parents left out and went to church or they went for, some kind of errand to run or whatever, you're supposed to do them errands, right? Or those chores. But it's like they gone. So you on the phone talking to your girl and you hollering at your boy about the game last night and this and that. But then when you see the car pull up in the driveway, you go to grab the mop bucket and everything and act like because the threat wasn't there. You know what I mean? You did all these other things. But when the threat arrives, then you're trying to get back in focus. What Caleb is going to have to do is make the mental adjustment in this fight for himself. And it has to last throughout the entire fight. And what that mental adjustment is this. He wants to mentally be on the belief of he's better than Canelo Alvarez. And in each and every round, he has to show him. That's the one mental approach that he has to have in this, because his physical abilities, his boxing skills and everything are on the world-class level. They are. But it's the psychological thing. See, and what Canelo likes to hold his stakes in and stock in is that you may not have the mental to sustain whatever he does or brings to you or whatever, because that's kind of pressure for some people. But because Caleb has dealt with a lot of pressures in his life, Canelo is going to have to bring it skill-wise now. But that's why Caleb doesn't have to worry about the skill-wise thing. He has to worry about the mental thing. And the mental thing is, I'm better than Canelo. I got to beat him every single round. I can't take a round off. I got to be conditioned to go 20 rounds if it's necessary. But I got to whoop his ass every single round. That's how you do it. And it becomes a point where in the fight, if Caleb is doing that, Canelo is going to now doubt what, he's doing and everything. And Canelo does not strike me as the type of guy who, if he needs the knockout, he's going to go for it. No. You know why? Because he's a fat cat now. He's got a lot of millions in the bank. He does. So Caleb, his best thing to do would be in the third quarter of the fight to really turn the heat up on Canelo's ass. Turn that fire up on his ass, because I'm willing to believe there's something in that boy that you ain't seen yet, and that's quit. But it has to be brought out, because when you are able to thrive under circumstances where it's all in your favor all the time, it could be masked. But pull them covers back. Pull that curtain back. All of those
like what
guys,
happened to Billy Joe Sanders. He had the skills, but he had a heart.
Thank you. And all of those guys have shown they got quit in them. All of them. And when I talk about all of them, I give an example. Julio Cesar Chavez. We had what's his name? The guy that just recently forgive me, I got a lot of fighters rolling through my head right now. But Mike Tyson. You know, all the guys who are used to having everything their way, they find a point in their careers where they just be like, oh, throw their hands up, because it's always there's always a tougher guy. That's why tough guys, Mike Tyson said this, and it's very true. Tough guys in this sport get hurt. Smart guys prevail, and they overcome, and they endure and persevere. You know what I mean? It's a difference. Now, who do you want to be on this particular night?
And you're right about that. Tough guys get hurt, because one of my, old heads in my family, like, if you want to see a fight that George, about two tough guys, and he said it was the only fight besides Muhammad Ali I really saw George Foreman hurt bad. And he said it was the Ron Lyle fight. I went back and saw that fight because it was way before my time. Man, them two brothers went at it. And I had to get my hats off to George Foreman, because after getting knocked down many times, he got up and finished Ron Lyle off. But Ron Lyle was on that ass. He wasn't scared of George Foreman at all.
Yeah. And if you hear George talk about that fight, he said in an interview one time, they were asking him, George, when Lyle knocked you down, what was going through your head or whatever? And George was like, he said, I had to decide. He was like, what excuse am I going to come up with this time? Because, when Ali beat him, he was like, I was, felt like I was poisoned or my shoes was too big or whatever, right? He came up with excuses for the loss to Ali. But he said when Ron Lyle put him down on the canvas, he was like, what excuse am I going to come up with this time? He's like, so I had no recourse but to get up and fight back. You know what I'm saying? And again, boxing is that type of sport that allows people to discover about themselves. And George found out in that fight that he had championship mettle, because not only did he go down twice from Lyle, he put Lyle down twice and out for the count on the second time. So it's like those are journeys of discovery for fighters in the boxing ring, because you recognize, like, if you've been down before, you feel like that ain't bad. If you've been stopped before, you be like, well, I've been stopped, so what can the other guy do to me now? You understand? So it becomes something that gives you your trajectory, and you decide which way that's going to go, not the other person. That's why I said the one thing that hasn't been shown about Canelo is quit. Because if you've always, and salute to Andrew Charles out there, I see you out there, and Eric R. Eric R says, great point, Sensei. Canelo also knows he has the judges. Another reason why he may not sharpen that sense of urgency. Exactly. So, and you heard me say that before Eric wrote it. I said he can quit. He can be made to quit. All you got to do is turn the heat up on his ass. Remember, when they took the fight against Floyd, they thought Floyd was through at 37, right? 36, whatever he was when he fought Canelo. And he beat the crap out of Canelo. Judges still had it close on the card, but it's like Floyd won that fight hands down. So ever since then, the fights against Lara and what's my other guy's name that he had the tough fight against? Austin Trout. It's like he tried to steer away from those kind of guys. And the Charlos are those kind of guys. So he steered away from those guys. He said, I want to fight guys who are either aging out or flat-footed or don't have good mobility, guys that I can dictate the terms and tempo with. Well, see, Caleb is a different type of an animal here. Do you know what it would mean for him to defeat Canelo Alvarez? That is what the thing that should be driving him. You see, that's the thing that should make him feel like, you know, once I beat this chump, man, they can't deny me. And if they still try to deny me, I have an edge on my shoulder for the rest of my career and everybody getting their ass whooped. That's the thing. That's what all you got. Because Canelo, he's a fat cat, bro. He's been fed very well and has had to risk very little. Fighting guys who are not that hungry, fighting guys who are not that talented, fighting guys who don't have it all together. Canelo could be fighting a guy who decides to put it all together on this upcoming night. There you go.
Mentally strong.
It makes a difference.
Yeah. And one other thing, and I've been, you know, hopefully somebody else will call in, but Wilder versus Fury 3. Mm-hmm. Of course, you know I'm going for Wilder. But and I heard a lot of brothers from the LDBC say this as well. I think Fury's just gonna go ahead and give Wilder that 80 million, man, or 70 million, whatever, because he knows deep down he ain't beat Wilder straight up, and he'd rather have that moral victory and lie to himself than reap what he sow. Be a coward.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing. Leopards don't change their spots, okay? Fury did have this fight where there were a lot of questionable variables that entered in that second fight. And he escaped with a victory. I say escaped because it was Wilder's corner that threw in a towel when Wilder was still competing. Yeah. And so Fury did a snatch and grab. You know, he snatched that victory, he grabbed that and ran on out the door, and he's good with that, regardless of what ethics went into the entire circumstance. And his character has shown him to be one who is not willing to grant someone else what he was granted. Wilder gave him a chance, right? Fury don't believe in that. He didn't do it for Vladimir Klitschko. So, yeah, the consensus is he very well may walk away from this and take the punishment. But I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be the worst punishment ever meted into a fighter in the history of boxing if he doesn't get his ass in that ring on October 9th. Now, he might be willing to take what comes from that because he's got certain backers over there who've got a wealth of money to help cover his expenses. But that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it right. But I'll say this. He'll be the most disgraced fighter in the history of boxing. Right now, I think that's Luis Resto for what happened in the Billy Collins fight with he and Panama Lewis tampering with his gloves. But if Fury doesn't go through with this fight, he'll be the most disgraced fighter in the history of the sport of boxing, because that will signify that something did happen in the second fight, and he's not man enough to face his penance. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's a lot to be said with this, but we'll wait and see. I don't think he's going to do it either, but I hope he does. I want Deontay to be able to hit him again. See, that's the thing. And he don't want that. He really don't.
No.
He talks a good game. His father talks a ton of BS, but he don't want that. He don't want that smoke.
You know why? You know why? The late, rest in peace, Nazim Richardson said, and I don't know if you remember the interview Nazim Richardson did like after the first fight. He said, "You want to be honest with you? Wilder didn't catch Tyson Fury clean because he was." And Wilder confirmed this in the interview with 78 that Fury was greased up like a pig. And Nazim Richardson saw that. And he basically said if Wilder catches Tyson Fury clean, he ain't getting back up.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's scary. You greased up and that punch basically slipped off and still was able to
because the punches slide off and everything. Yeah. Listen, and Fury's got Wilder's got a more experienced team coming into this third fight. And those are the kind of things that they're going to be calling for. Hey, get some of that grease off his ass. Hey, listen, no. Wipe him down, this or that. They can do that. They are well within their right to do that. The one thing that Drew Titan and I have talked about, too, is that we think that Fury's going to try to come in with his trunks all the way up, right up under his nipples, on his chest. Pull them damn trunks down. We want to see his belly button. Pull them trunks down. Because, see, that's the other thing he's going to try to do.
Hopefully he'll try to do that. Even he, I'm just being honest because we talking about boxing. Even Muhammad Ali tried to do that against Joe Frazier. With that shorts up to the nipple. But you're right.
Yeah. So it's like these are the kind of things. But when you got experienced corner, they can look out for all of that. And it will make a difference.
Man, I'm going to say this and I'll really get off because we having a good conversation again. Man, I wish Nazim Richardson somehow, and this is my dream matchup as far as trainer and fight. I wish Nazim Richardson was in the corner of that second fight. I wish Deontay would have got rid of Mark Breland ass. And before the brother passed on, he was on Nazim Richardson was on Deontay's Wilder team, and he might even would have caught all the bullshit that went on. No, he would have caught the bullshit that went on during that fight, man. But
listen, man, you're speaking to the choir right now because I had said that. There are videos from a couple of years ago early in my channel when I said the one guy who would have been perfect working for Deontay would have been Nazim Richardson. I heard him speak of Deontay a couple of years earlier before he passed away, and he spoke highly of Deontay and his abilities. And you could see him in his excitement talking about Deontay as if he wished he, could be working with him, because he was talking about how the man has the type of eraser that you haven't seen in the history of the sport. And he was like, could you imagine just putting that together with a certain amount of skill sets and this and that? And he spoke so well of that. I was like, I bet they would have made a tremendous connection too. Because Nazim Richardson was the type of he was a very intelligent man with the sport of boxing. His ring awareness, his IQ and acumen when applied as a science in boxing was very underrated. It was like they never considered him. But you look at his work he did with Shane Mosley and Bernard Hopkins, and you could see Cunningham. Listen, yes, and you could see what he was able to do. And with Shane Mosley, he exposed that guy Margarito.
Yeah, Margarito been getting away with that for a minute until he ran into Nazim Richardson. Yes, sir.
With the Trinidad camp, with Trinidad, he got them on their hand wraps and everything before the fight, and Trinidad ended up getting knocked out that night.
Yep.
Just a lot of things that the man brought to the sport. But see, it's people like that, you tap into what their legacy is and try to learn more. What was it about? What did he study? What did he do that? Emulate that greatness and be able to bring that forward into today and help other fighters. This is what I try to do when I speak about boxing, because I have that same approach. I could see the things that need to be seen. You heard me in our last call where I was talking about Usyk, his strengths, and what they will mean against Joshua. Joshua, his strengths and his setbacks, and what that would mean against Usyk. You know what I mean? I think I did a very fair way of outlining that. And it didn't discriminate against either fighter. It was a proper assessment.
On some things I didn't even catch.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, you did.
So yeah, but that's how I do it. So brothers like Nassim, I respect them. Too bad he didn't never get a Coach of the Year award or something like that, because he was way overdue.
Way overdue, man. But rest in peace to that brother, and I'm gonna get off here again. I had to call in, man, to chop it up with you again, man.
That's okay, man.
Yeah, you guys call in, man. Call in to support this brother, man. This non-Bryce brother, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you,
y'all
bro.
Have a blessed night. Okay.
All right, peace. Another great call, man. But he's right, man. Caleb is going to have to do those things. He's going to have to decide where he wants to go in there. Does he want to be the man that pulled the curtain back on Canelo? Hey, all you got to do, you got 12 rounds to work with, bro. 12 rounds. Get him up out of there. Salute to Dwayne Jones. He says, bless up from Atlanta. I see you out there, bro. D-Lo says, Richardson also spoke highly of Andre, who some clowns on YouTube and in media talk down at every turn. Listen, man, Demetrius Andrade he's aging out now, because some of the skill sets that he had earlier in his career before he started switching management and promoters and all of that, but he has a boxing skill set that a lot of guys don't have. That's why he was so dangerous, and that's why people don't want to fight him. And he's a southpaw. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, there is so much to be said about the talented guys. Everyone in the sport currently who has talent, skill set, ability, they're being avoided. They're being avoided. It doesn't matter what weight division they're in, but those guys are being avoided. Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Guillermo Rigondeaux, what's my man's name? Boots Ennis. All of these guys who really have a skill set and they have talent, technique. People don't want to fight those guys. But it's a sport. It's a worldwide sport. It's a world-class sport. It's like you have to get in there whether your skills measure up to the other ones or not. This is what y'all chose to do for a living. If you're not as good as that guy, go back to the lab and work on some things. Try to get better. Don't just try to skate around the sport fighting inadequate matches and guys who don't really need to be in the ring and cab drivers and everything and making people call them bums when they are just lower rated fighters. But you don't want to fight someone who on paper people can't tell if you can beat them or not, because it needs to be done in the ring. So you would rather thrive on accomplishing very little and beating second to third tier fighters, but you don't want to beat or face your contemporaries and people be lined up for a fight to say, I don't know who's going to win this one. That's what you're avoiding? I'm online right now, and there's brothers out here that got live streams going right now. What am I supposed to do? Sit back and be worried like, oh, shit, he's on right now. I can't go up against him. I'm doing what I'm going to do. They going to do what they going to do. I ain't worried about that. You think I'm going to worry about that? Who going to be with me, going to be with me. Huh? Who ain't, won't. These people out here, they wishy-washy, huh? Fair weather, they call them. The wind blows one way or the other, and so they go that way. Okay, we got 706 in the building. Who's this calling? Welcome to the show.
What's up, Stormy?
Who we got?
D-Lo 404 Boxing. What's good?
Hey, D-Lo, what's happening with you, man? Good morning to you, bro.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, man. Just want to get on here and cook with you for a little bit. I know people seem to be a little shy about hitting them digits on the phone, so I just figured I'd come on here. I tried to get on early, actually, but right when I was calling, somebody else called.
Yeah.
So I just got a moment. But yeah, man, you're right though, man. A lot of these guys, they look at the skill sets of certain fighters, and they try to stay away from them, man. You know what I'm saying? Even a guy that a lot of people have a problem with for inactivity in Gary Russell Jr. There's no line of guys want to fight that dude. You know what I'm saying?
You're right, and because
especially in the divisions in which he fight in.
Right, and you're right, because even though I didn't mention his name, he's one of the fighters that I'm talking about as well. Anybody who has skill sets, talent, and ability, nobody's trying to fight those guys. Nobody. Mm-mm. Even if they got a title.
Right, or even if not necessarily saying they want to fight, but they're willing to take the fight, they want a king's ransom to get the fight.
Well, see, then they don't want the fight. They don't want the fight because let me stop it right there, and then we can continue from there. They don't want the fight, which is why that king's ransom that you said, they don't want the fight. They price themselves out of that because then they say, well, they don't want to pay me. Dude, it's the most money you would make fighting anybody else. So who are you trying to fool? Huh? You mean to tell me that, let's just say, now Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford are about to fight each other. Now, I understand that they got a purse split and all of that. I don't get into the economics of it, but I will make this point. Do you think Bud Crawford will make more money fighting Sean Porter or one of those other lower tier fighters that they have been brought their names up? Sean Porter. That's who he's going to make the money fighting. So that's who you fight. And if that's the guy on paper that people say, oh, I don't know who's going to win this one, but I want to see it. Where are your competitive juices? Where are your desire to really show that you're the best? If you're not there to show that you're the best, get the hell out of the sport because you're in the wrong business. You're going to get hurt out there. Listen, you could get hurt by a bum. All that talk about high risk, low reward, I wish someone had never came up with that phrase. Because we see these idiots out here living through that ideology. It's like high risk, low reward. Listen, anytime you're in a sport where you're getting punched in the face, the other person can punch you in the face and you get a brain aneurysm and that be it for you. Huh? And he was a bum.
In the back of the head?
Yeah, anything. He's a bum. So a bum did you away. Listen, Terry Norris lost to a bum 2 times. Huh? Both by DQ. Nobody saw that coming. And the thing was, both fights, he lost them the same kind of way. So who's dumber? Terry Norris or the people who put him in there with the guy? Mm-hmm. All of them take their share of dumb pie because they went in there thinking one thing and it happened another way. And the guy milked it. And listen, it happens in the sport of boxing. You got all these guys out here. Gary Russell should have fought several of these guys already. Some of them are people you love. Some of them are people whose names are even bigger than his. But it doesn't make sense that these guys won't get in the ring and fight each other. if it's on paper that I don't know who could win, that's the fight that I want to see. I don't want to see a guy coming up who's done had his head handed to him and everything, and he's coming back off of his 6th or 7th loss and everything, huh? And you feasting on him. You look just like a vulture out in the desert, waiting on a carcass, huh? Ruining the sport. Salute to the brother Blue Blood Sports TV out there. I see you, bro. And I see my brother Curtis Anderson out there as well. Salute to you, Kurt. Yeah, man, it's ridiculous. But go ahead, brother. D-Lo, you were saying some other things. Good stuff, man.
No, I was just saying, like I said, man, a lot of these guys, they, either they don't want the fights or, you know what I'm saying, they out and out just go around certain guys trying not to get fights. Their management maneuvers them around certain guys. Just a lot of different things like that, particularly, you know what I'm saying, to me, it just shows that, man, none of these guys really want to fight these athletic, you know what I'm saying, very skilled fighters, because it's not something they see every day. These guys fall into a rut of fighting a certain type of guys, and they're fighting them all the time. And it's almost like it's laziness, because, if you go into a camp and you're fighting the same type guys over and over, you kind of know the same thing to train for. Just like how guys stay away from southpaws. You're consistently seeing orthodox fighters, and, you've gotten used to that. So your training camps are catered around fighting those guys. But then when you throw in that you got to fight an orthodox fighter, then all of a sudden camp's a little bit different. Sparring partners are different. Your strategy is different. Everything, thrown for a loop. So these guys, like I said, they fall into a place of complacency, want to fight certain type guys. So, they don't want to have to up their ante to get ready for these, certain type of fighters. And I look at a guy like Canelo, for all the adulation and acclaim and praise that he gets for the sport, for what he's done in the sport, you can see him strategically maneuver away from certain type of guys. And his fan base and media, they allow it. They buy into it completely, and they go along with it, and they make excuses for him, and they downgrade and belittle these guys and talk down on them. But then they have nothing to say when he fights guys that we know going in don't have a chance of winning the fight. I'm not going to say don't have a chance. Everybody has a chance. But for the most part, they have little to no chance to win the fight. And they're 100% okay with it.
Yeah, and it ruins the sport, man, because, see, with all those extra titles out there, what this means is it slows down the competitive nature in the sport. If you had 1 or 2 titles, what happens is these guys who are lined up as ranked fighters, they end up having to fight each other for the right toward a championship shot. With all these titles, nobody has to move. Nobody, you could go and fight a guy who's in the top 50, okay, to stay active, stay busy. And now they like to call that a tune-up fight. I want to take a tune-up. Huh? It's like, you fighting guys like that. But if it's 1 or 2 titles, then basically the guys that's in the top 10, how many belts are there now? 5, 6, right? It's like, that's 6 contenders after the championship titleists, right? So then you round out the rest through 10. That's, you add 4 more fighters. These guys got to fight each other. If you took all the titles away and made 1 champion, that means those guys got to fight each other now. So who's the baddest man? Number 2. You don't know unless they start mixing it up. And these guys are stalling. Okay, they don't fight each other. They don't have competitive matches. So they're sitting up, waiting around. And they are getting paid a lot better today than they were a couple of generations ago. So they can sit around, especially if they get a network TV deal or something like that, where they're signed to a certain app or whatever, right? DAZN, ESPN, Showtime, that kind of thing. You signed up, Fox. If you're able to fight on those platforms, then that means that when you do fight, you're guaranteed a certain amount of money. If you're the house fighter, okay? If you're a guy that calling in to be an opponent of the house fighter, then what happens is you get that little flat rate or whatever. But you're one upset away from becoming a better paid dude. Like my brother Rice that won the fight just recently, a few weeks ago. Huh? They brought him in as an opponent, and he touched old boy up, knocked him out. And it's like, okay, you know what I mean? And so now he the man. He's in demand, I should say.
Right, yeah, that's the way I think a lot of these fighters and their camps got to start looking at certain things when it comes to how they continue to stagnate the sport when they're refusing to put their guys in with certain people or refusing to fight certain guys. It's, you know, one thing about it is if you get that opportunity, whatever that guy was in line for, 9 times out of 10, you put yourself in position for what he was in line for. And then, you know, worst case scenario, you find yourself in a rematch versus the same guy, but this time you're in a better position in the rematch. You know, you may not make more than him in the rematch, but you should make more than what you made the first time. And then if you beat him twice, there's no point in, you know, you move on from that fight and you go on to, you know, bigger and better things. You know, there are some situations where, you know, you have people like, you know, like Lonnie B, where he beat Uskatagi, but then he don't necessarily find himself in getting the opportunities that Uskatagi had or that he's getting now. But then again, you know, sometimes there are politics behind the scenes that prevent things like that from happening. But by and large, you should find yourself in a position where if you beat a guy, you should ascend to the position or near the position where he was in terms of getting opportunities.
Right. Absolutely, man. And I'm telling you, the fan base, it's like they have greater control than they want to believe. You know, we talk about this all the time on our airwaves. We talk about it all the time. We want the people to understand that your voting power is your dollar. You know, you're tuning in and all of this. And if you tune people out, if you say enough is enough, they're going to have to come back and cater to you. That's why Paulie Malignaggi lost that commentating job on Showtime. People were like unsubscribing from the network and everything. And they were like, wait a minute. Because of this dude? Paulie, you better go out there and apologize to these people. Paulie was like, yeah, I don't have to apologize to them, man. I'm standing on my square. Well, they said your square is outside. Huh?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. So, and they ain't missed a beat. Since Paulie been gone, subscriptions are back up and everything, and they doing fine. Huh?
You're exactly right. Well, hey, Stormy, man, I appreciate you having me on, man. I just wanted to come on and support, man. I'm going to go back to the chat and let somebody else get a chance.
Okay, brother. I appreciate you calling, man. Thanks, D-Lo.
All right. Yes, sir.
Peace. Another great call from D-Lo 404, man. I appreciate that. And salute to my man, Bruce Goals, channel member out there. I see you out there in the chat, brother. And we've had a few more people come into the building since the call came in. We got here? I want to try to go back. Oh, boy. We got Thomas Moreland out there. He says, salute, Stormy. Sign of the Times. TVHQ says, salute, brother Wiseman, Stormy. Yeah, salute to you. Eric R. says, Canelo fans and old media can lie all they want, but the one thing they can't lie about is money. Nobody has been paying to see a Canelo fight because there is no risk there. Hey, great point, man. Great point. Damon Wester is out there, says, what up, Stormy? First time on your live. Appreciate you stopping by, bro. Appreciate you stopping by. And my man William Old School Arden is out there, says, what's good, Stormy B, man? What's good with you, brother? What's good with you? I'm going to hook my man William up. Let's see, we got. Yes, sir. William, I just rinsed you up, bro. And if Blue Blood is still out there, what's going on with you, Blue Blood? Call in. Call in to the show, bro. Show that support. Who else we got? Tay Brown, I'm sorry I missed you earlier, Queen. I see you. You were out there. Appreciate you stopping by. MPWTF is out there as well. Divine Milk is out there. Let's see. Yep, I think I got caught up on the people that popped in that I didn't get a chance. Terry Smoot Jr. joined us as well. Andrew Charles says, speaking for myself, I enjoy listening to other people cook. When I first discovered boxing channels on YouTube, it took me back to the days when talk radio was really popular. Yeah, that's kind of what you can look at it like that, Andrew Charles. I agree with that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's see. Cornelius Weatherford says Plant has the right mentality to defeat Canelo. I think so. He's just got to make sure that he stays mentally sharp throughout the fight and look to turn the heat up at some point. You don't want to fight at the same pace or whatever, but you want to build the blocks. You want to turn that oven up to Canelo like he's a lobster in a pot. You know what I mean? You slowly turn the heat up on them where they don't know they're being roasted, huh? And then next thing you know, you got them extra crispy in there. That's how that works. Mr. Depps is out there. He says, Emmanuel Stewart should be ashamed of Sugar Hill. He probably is. What else we got here? Just going back on some of the early chats that I missed. Bruce Gold says, Stormybman, you up for the Ken Burns doc on Ali tonight? I wasn't aware of that, Bruce Gold. I appreciate you telling me, man, because I did not know. Had no idea of that. Who we got there? Super chat from the brother Drew Titan. Appreciate you, bro. He says, listening while picking apples. See you later, Sensei. Hey, Drew, I hope you have a good time, man. We were doing that yesterday. Man, I got that apple cobbler in there, bro. Got that apple cobbler. It's going down. Got to get me some ice cream. Yes, sir. But yeah, Bruce Goes, I wasn't aware of the documentary on Ali. Let's see. Well, who else we got? Yeah. I think that's everything. Yeah, man. Nobody else wants to call in. You guys are something else, man, with this lack of calling in today. I don't know what that's all about. The likes are up. I appreciate that. But I appreciate a couple of call-ins, too, you know. Make it worth the while. Give Drew Titan something else to hear while he was out there picking those good old apples. Man. If you guys don't pick apples, man, you need to do that, you know. That's a good thing. Every season we do that. Apple picking. You know. PBS, okay. One last question, Bruce. If you could give me a time on that so I'll know I can catch it. I might have to end up recording it if it's on later, because I know we got to do a show this evening. But I would like to check that out. Let's see. But yeah, before we got that call, I was trying to speak on that Valdez situation where, you know, his fight against Concepcion is like, you know, that fight went through because Valdez, they had built a statue for the guy and were going to launch it in his hometown and everything. And listen, man, they do stuff. Corruption in boxing is really, you know, it's there. I don't care what nobody says, you know. And Hey, Bruce Goes, you trying to call me, bro? I'm on the show, bro. I'm on live. What you doing? It's like got Bruce Goes trying to call me, but he know I'm on live. So, yeah, Bruce, what you doing, bro? I'm on the live stream. You should call in to the call in. Yeah, about Valdez. He popped dirty. Both A and B samples. He's in the Reynoso camp where they've had some questionable things going on there as well. Then something funny happened with the scales on weigh-in. I don't think the man made weight. And the thing about it is, they covered that up. Then the fight took place, and Kunsikon, who defeated him in the amateurs, as far as what I remember, if I heard correctly, touched the guy up in the fight. And if you look at the guys at the end of the fight, Valdez has sustained a lot of damage. But he tried to say Kunsikon ran from him. Well, if running and punching a dude in the face like he did all night there, I'd be that type of runner any day. You understand? Boxing is the art of hit and not get hit, not stand there and go blow for blow. Huh? And if you ain't adept at cutting the ring off and sliding and punching and doing different things, hey, man, that's on you. You have failed as a complete fighter. That's all. But the judges, after this fight, scored the fight for Valdez's favor, but one judge in particular who had WBC affiliations, and a referee of the WBC, by the way, he's judging the fight as a WBC ref and has photos and everything with him chilling with Mauricio and Mauricio's father, Jose, going way back into the 90s. So Valdez was on easy street in this fight. More corruption. Because he was not going to lose this fight. The only thing that made him lose the fight is if he was knocked out. And even possibly then, if he was knocked out, they might have tried to say it was a low blow. So we get a couple of days beyond the fight and we find out they unveil a statue in his hometown. Can you say corruption very, 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 very loud? Who does this? Who does this? We're seeing boxing right in front of our faces, right under our noses, where you can smell the stench of it all, be put out there in a manner of which they want you to see it, not how it really is or whatever. They're giving you this, and the people are still eating this crap up. Valdez is a cheat, people. Just like Tyson Fury is a cheat, just like Canelo Alvarez is a cheat, just like Big Baby Miller is a cheat. There's plenty of cheats across the board in the sport of boxing. But there's no leveled playing field of how to deal with them. Okay, we got the brother Bruce Goes in the building. What's going on, Bruce? What are you trying to call me on the phone, man? I'm doing the live stream, bro.
Oh, sorry, bro. I thought I called your live stream. I'll call it back.
No, this is the live stream, Bruce. But the first time you called, you was calling me on my other phone.
Sorry about that, bro. I pressed Stormybman and I thought it was the same number for some strange reason, bro.
No, it's just giving me something to laugh about on air, man. I'm tripping out on it. I'm like, why is he not calling on the show? But it's all good. I'm glad to hear from you, man. What's going on with you?
Oh, man, I just wanted to remind you about that Ali documentary, the Ken Burns tonight, man. I saw a little special, a little preview about it yesterday on the Today Show. Ali's daughter's doing it with him, and it's on 8 o'clock Central Time. So, 7 o'clock Central Time, I believe. So it's definitely something worth DVDing, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to record it because we'll be doing a live stream on the Drew Titans channel this evening, and we're supposed to have Montel Griffin on there tonight. So that's a little advertisement. So check us out on the Drew Titan channel this evening for his show at 6 p.m. Central starts. So we'll be in the midst of our show when that doc comes on. So I'm gonna have to record it.
I hear that, bro. That's the thing with me, too. I don't think I've watched 2 hours of TV in the last month. I'm always going from YouTube, different segments to different lives. And, I see all my bros on here. I don't want to miss them. I like to talk to them, let them know we're still alive, man. And, it's a cool thing. I love this camaraderie that we have over here, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is what, and that's why I try to stress. It's like when we're out here doing what we do, there's nothing wrong with people supporting and watching other channels and this and that. In fact, I encourage that because I do it myself. The only thing I was saying is like, for like a call-in show, call in, talk about something real quick and go back to doing what you was doing. It's like hit the like button in the meantime. That's the best way to support. But just to be out there and don't call and all of that stuff, man, come on, man. You can do a little better than that. You know what I mean? Because it's like we're here,
it, brother.
We're here.
And you're one of the OGs. You're one of the first guys I hung with on YouTube. So, man, I at least got to give you a thumbs up, get a little algorithm going, and then when you invite me for a phone call, bro, that's putting a welcoming bat out, man. Bruce Coase isn't going to turn that down. A chance to talk with his good brother Stormybman on a Sunday morning, man. Great way to start the week, if you ask me, man.
Yeah, man, and I appreciate it, man. Appreciate what you do and appreciate your support, man, because you out there, you rock with a lot of the brothers from the community, and you're always, you're there, man. You're one of the people that's dug in, and we appreciate that. You know what I mean? There's nothing like that type of support, bro. Nothing like that type of support.
It's all mutual respect out there. When I start feeling going sour, then I'll dip off and go somewhere else. But it's gratitude, it's education. It's all these things that I never thought would materialize at this stage in my life. It's happening, man. I don't want to blow it. I like being on this train. It's a beautiful ride, man.
Yeah. Well, we like you being a part of it, man, because you're out there and
bro.
You're one of the people who rock with everybody, and that's great, man, because it's like one of those things I call leading by example. You know what I mean? It's like you show that kind of support. A lot of people, they hold their support to themselves. It's like they feel like they're holding back money in a wallet or something. It's like, I'm not going to give my like to this guy. I'm not going to. Man, just show some love and support, and then we'll see you next time. You know what I'm saying?
You know how I look at it. The enemy of my friend is not my enemy. I got no beefs on there because you don't like this guy and you think I'm not supposed to like him, bro. That's not me, man. I'm not a follower like that. I'm not part of the army.
Right. And besides, like for me, when you come to my channel, I'm talking about boxing. You know what I mean? I ain't got time for no drama and all of that.
That's all I go for is boxing, man. I don't go for any bullshit. I'm too old for that, man. Pure boxing, and you're one of the brothers, man. Drew. Dude, there's so many of them out there. My brother Mad Chad, who just jumped in. It's just a great feeling. I don't have to go anywhere, but yet I feel like I'm in a party of my peers and my friends. So that's all I wanted to say, Stormy. I don't want to hang your phone up. I just wanted to, get some action over here. Talk to my brother. Good morning and peace from lovely New England. It's a beautiful day today, man. Kiss your wife. Thank God for every day. Nothing's guaranteed, brother. And I'm just happy I'm here with you today.
Absolutely, man. And I appreciate you as well. And salute to Mad Chad out there. I didn't get a chance to say that yet, but salute to Mad Chad, Boxing and Sports. Appreciate you stopping through there, man. But yeah, Bruce.
And Eric Arthur, you telling me to call in, man. I love that shit, bro. I love that shit.
Yeah.
My brother. Hey, Stormybman, I'm going to run, man. Peace to you. Nothing but respect and love.
All right, man. Peace to you as well. Take it easy. Salute to Bruce Goes. That's one thing about the chat, man. They start writing stuff in there. Man, call in. Man, get that dude out of here. Hey, do this, that. It's like, I love when the chat get active like that, man. It makes me laugh. Salute to Hamza S out there. I see you. And he's saluting some other people out there. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that Ali documentary. Can't get enough of Ali, man. Can't get enough of that brother. Mm-mm. Okay, we got 312 in the building. What's going on, 312? Welcome to the show. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Eric R.
Hey, what's good with you?
Not much, man. Not much. I wanted to call in. If I could take a second, first I wanted to see if you could give my son, Eric Jr., a shout out. It's his birthday today.
All right, man. What's going on, Eric Jr.? What's going on? This is Stormybman saying happy birthday to you, man, and many more to come. What number is this? What year?
He's 11 now.
He's 11. All right, man. That's a good age, man.
Yeah.
Good time to be having fun, learning a lot of things. Brain is like a sponge at that time, so make sure you're absorbing the right stuff.
Absolutely. I have him listen to the show, usually the Three Kings, and then we go back and we watch some of the fights and stuff that you talk about. And one of his favorites was the Hearns and Leonard one.
Oh, man, that's what's up, man. And thank you for tuning in to our other shows as well, because that's what we try to do, man. We try to, keep it all good and green for everybody out there, man. And I think it's a wonderful thing when people decide to invest in that. So if you got your son listening to us when we do those shows, the Three Wise Men, man, I appreciate that as well. Much respect for you for that.
Most definitely. I was glad to finally get to chop it up with you. I ain't going to hold up the lines too long, but I definitely wanted to come in and let you know that you're appreciated. And every chance I get, I try to tune in.
Oh, man, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. And the whole thing about this call-in show, I come up with this one because I thought it was a better way for me to interact with those who support the channel and the content that I create, because, it's one thing to just hear a video or to hear me talking on a live stream, but it's another thing to be able to come on and have a conversation about a subject of your choosing, when regarding the sport of boxing, of course. But it's like that interactivity is really needed, and a lot of people, I don't just get on here and just be talking crap, but it's like, if you ask me something about boxing, I can really go deep with that, and I'm sure people have seen examples of that. So, and I love it.
Yeah, yeah, it shows. I mean, I definitely keep it open. There's no other channels right now that's tapped into that, allowing the people in the chat to be able to come on and talk. I definitely keep that open.
Yes.
I'll try to make sure because the weekends is good.
Yeah, man. And make sure you keep Eric Jr. on there as well, man, because if he loves the sport of boxing, man, he's always going to get some solid boxing conversation from Stormybman's channel, man. That's what it's going to be. You just heard me just a moment ago before you called in talking about this corruption with this Valdez situation. It's unbelievable. Yeah, but now that the fact came out that they made a statue for the guy, now you know why he had to win the fight. Now you know. Yeah. It's like, dude, they didn't make the statue on Monday and then unveil it on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Right. They built that damn statue like months ago. I think someone researched it and told us that it takes about 4 to 6 months, depending on what the design is going to be, to make a statue of someone. So, dude, this was coming all along. We had no idea.
Right. Since he popped dirty, they was probably building that thing.
Yeah. And the thing is, ridiculous. He popped dirty a couple weeks before the fight. So that's still the statue was being built months before that. So it's like,
Wow.
listen, man, if you can't see the corruption of the WBC and how they handle things, it's right in front of your face. Now the thing is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to continue to support their fights? Are you going to write emails to the WBC and condemn them? That's the best thing to do, to send the emails in. Emails, the power of the pen or the text, so to speak, is so prevalent and strong today.
That and probably boycott the fights of WBC sites, title fights or whatever.
Yeah.
It's gonna take boxers, with names to reject that belt, and everybody has to band together on that in order for it to carry over and WBC change, or that they threaten to actually remove these guys from being a major party. It's going to have to take something like that to happen. But these fighters, they force self. At some point you gotta stand up and do what's right for the people that's coming behind you.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. You're 1,000% correct when it comes to that. So yeah, man. But here, like on this platform, when we talk about these things, man, that's what it's all about, because you have to, you have to have bitter with the sweet. It's like these things are wrong, but we have to speak about them. We shouldn't just brush them over or gloss them over or ignore them. And old media does exactly that. They gloss over or ignore, and that's bad.
Yeah. Yep. So just keep doing what you're doing, man. We got the streets. We got you.
All right, man. I appreciate that. And don't be a stranger, man. You could call in anytime on the call-in show, bro.
I got you.
And happy birthday again to Junior.
Thanks.
All right. Peace. Yes, sir. That's good stuff. Brother Eric R. out there. Another Chi-Town player. Appreciate the call, bro. Yes, sir. Well, we're going to wind it down because we're just about at the end of the show here. So I'm going to shut down the call line right now because there's only 3 minutes to the time that I check out. So, but it's been a great show, man. We do what we do here, and we get away with a couple of hours of talking about our favorite sport, man. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So, yeah, buddy. Let's see here. We got. We got some people out there in the chat writing up some stuff now. And I see we got the same ignoramus who comes in every week to put a one thumbs down. You can take your thumb and stick it. Well, I won't say that because we got the young brother Junior out there listening, but you understand what I mean. But I appreciate everybody that came out there today and support the show in a positive manner. Those who called in, my man D-Lo calling in. Listen, the one thing about this show is it's done with you in mind, the interaction of the people, and that means a lot. Some of you may not know exactly how much that means, but it means a lot, man. It really does. So just know that. But we're going to get on up out of here. Allow you guys to go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And thanks to the brother, Bruce Goes, for reminding us of the Ali documentary that's on tonight. So we'll be checking that out. 704 Joe says, love the show, Stormy. Why did Amir Khan make so much money? Porter has to beg for money. That's because, you know what? You have to ask Top Rank and Bob Arum why they gave that man all that money and then didn't want to pay nobody else. They don't even want to pay Bud. You know what I mean? So, but I'll tell you this. It's biased, isn't it? It's quite biased. Yes, sir. And my man Jared out there called in. Appreciate you, bro. He said, enjoy the conversation, brother, and I enjoyed it as well. That's why you guys call in. You find out Stormy ain't that bad. He can talk to you and then help you enjoy and get through your Sunday morning and early afternoon. But we're going to get on up out of here, man, because you guys got stuff to do. Huh? I don't, but you do. And that's the way it is. Huh? Bruce Gold says, thanks for the show. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. And thank you for that reminder. Yeah. William says, peace out. Yeah, man. We're going to get out of here, though. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, man. I'm out. Peace to everybody. Stay safe. And we catch you next Sunday. All right? Peace.